Hey everybody, I'm Jonas and I'm here for the Wednesday Night Live for Fit Families of Faith. Jackie is actually programming nutritional schedules for her clients right now, so I'm going it alone. But I'm really excited to be here because we've got an important topic that I really want to discuss with you. This is important. You need to get a grasp of this if you want to change your body and your life for the long haul. Okay? The subject of tonight's Wednesday Night Live is why is it so difficult to keep weight off once we've lost it? Why do we have the tendency to regain weight after we lose it? Look, this is a really widespread phenomenon. We posted a post last week asking which was more difficult, to lose weight or to keep it off. And the response was amazing. I mean, there was a huge outpouring of people who have had the experience of losing weight only to regain it, and more sometimes. And we need to address that. Why is it so prevalent? Why does it happen in the first place? Well, look, let's step back away from the problem and think about it dispassionately, logically, and pick it apart and analyze it. Okay, so if you are in an overfat position and you need to lose weight, what do? You change something, right? You have some sort of intervention to lose the weight. Okay, you don't just continue what you're doing and the weight magically drops off. You did something to lose the weight. You had some sort of intervention. That intervention takes one of two forms, or maybe some combination of both. Number one, perhaps you restricted the calories that you take in through a diet. Or number two, perhaps you increased your calorie expenditure by spending time exercising, right? Because remember, small digression. In order to lose fat, you must take in fewer calories than you expend, all right? That is a universal truth. Anyone who has any sort of grounding in science takes this for granted. It is a universal truth. The only ones that you'll ever hear dispute that are dieting market gurus selling you snake oil and for their own purposes. Anyone in the scientific community agrees that in order to lose fat, you must take in fewer calories than you expend. All right? Okay. Anyway, with that out of the way. So how did we do that? If we lost weight, we took in fewer calories than we expended in one of two ways, either through restricting our calories through diet or through expending calories in exercise, most likely, or maybe a combination of both. Well, let's think about that for just a minute. Let's say that you lost a lot of weight by restricting your calories. All right, so you went from eating 2,500 or 2,000 calories a day down to 1,000 calories a day, and you lost a good amount of weight over time. Well, what happens when you start eating like a normal person again? What happens after you come back from that 1,000-calorie low? You can't stay there for the rest of your life. That would be very unhealthy, as a matter of fact, to live at starvation levels. So what happens when you come back from that and start eating like you did before, or eating, a normal person's diet? Well, of course, the weight's going to come back on. You did nothing to fundamentally change your body. Your body's the same body. It's probably burning fewer calories than it did in the first place because you have a smaller body size now, and you've probably really slowed your metabolism down by starving it for so long. So what would we expect to happen once you start eating again? It's not rocket science. You're going to regain the weight. Okay, that's scenario number one. What about scenario number two? Let's say the intervention I chose was to do 2 hours of cardio every day. And in that 2 hours of cardio, I expended a good amount of calories. And that's how I ended up losing weight. Well, what did you do to fundamentally change your body? Nothing. You lost fat. But you've done nothing to fundamentally change your body. What happens when I can't give 2 hours a day to cardio anymore? What happens when I have kids, or I have a job, or I have real life responsibilities that don't allow me to exercise for 2 hours a day in order to create that caloric deficit? Well, the weight's going to come back on. I mean, it's simple. It's not rocket science. I've done nothing to fundamentally alter my body to raise my metabolism in any way. The only thing I've done is change my body fat level. And once I go back to living a normal life, of course the weight's going to come back on. The fat's going to come right back. Okay, that's why it happens. Now let me present to you our approach. The reason that, or what we attempt to do to thwart this, all right, and to set us up for long-term success, lifetime lower body fat levels. Put muscle on your frame. It's all about adding muscle to your frame. That is the fundamental change that raises your metabolism forever, okay? Think about it like this. Your body's a machine. It's like a car, okay? If all I've done is lose fat through either one of the first two scenarios, a dietary intervention or expending calories in exercise, if that's all I've done, then what have I accomplished? The fat that you have on your body is like junk that you carry around in your trunk. It weighs you down, but it doesn't burn any gasoline. It's just stuff that you have back there in your trunk. Well, let me clear that out. It's still the same car burning the same amount of gas. It might even burn a little bit less gas now because it's not carrying around that weight. That gas is calories, all right? So your car is the same car. You haven't done anything to change it. All you've done is lighten your load a little bit. So once you go back to normal person status, and you just regain the fat. Look, what I want to do is to build a bigger engine. Your muscle is like the engine of your car, all right? Muscle burns fat at rest, just like an engine burns gasoline at idle, all right? Even when it's not zooming around anywhere, if it's just sitting there idling, it's burning gasoline. If you don't believe that, go crank up your motor in your car in the driveway and go to sleep tonight and come back in the morning and see if it didn't run out of gas. You didn't drive it anywhere. You didn't zoom it around, race it around, for hours on a treadmill or a racetrack. You just sat there and it ran out of gas. That's what muscle does. Muscle is active even at idle. Just sitting here, not moving around or exercising or anything. Just sitting here. The muscle that I have on my frame is burning calories, okay? Fat doesn't burn calories at rest. It doesn't do anything. It just sits there. It's storage. It's literally calorie storage. Muscle is your mover. It's your dynamo. It takes gas to run it. It takes calories to run it. So look, all I'm advocating is that the intervention that you choose the one that's going to build you a bigger motor, that's going to burn more gas on the other side of it. After the intervention's over, you will have a bigger motor that burns more gas for the rest of your life, as long as you do the little that it takes to maintain that bigger engine, that muscle that you've built. Does that make sense? I mean, too many people choose one of the first two interventions, either simply a restrictive diet or simply expending energy in the gym, likely through cardio. It does nothing to change your body. It does nothing to change your car, right? And after that intervention is over, well, you become the same shape that you were before. There's no reason that you wouldn't. All you've done is cleared out the junk that you had in the trunk. So what I'm asking you to do, what I'm asking you to think about, to wrap your mind around, is to stop the idea that, the fundamental purpose of one of these interventions is to lose fat. That's short term, y'all, and you see it come right back. That's short term thinking. Try this. Try an intervention that builds muscle on your frame and see if you don't reap the rewards long term over the whole course of your life. See if it doesn't change your life, okay? I know, I talk to a lot of ladies, especially. We have a lot of ladies for clients, and they're a little bit reticent to seek building muscle, right? But it truly is the answer. And muscle does not make you look like a man. Muscle gives you the curves that you're actually looking for. Long gone are the days of Twiggy, where, you know, everyone wants to look like, forgive me, but a ragged out drug addict, skinny person. We're much more conscious of our health now. We want to look healthy. We want to look athletic. We want to feel good and healthy and strong. And the way to do that is to build muscle. All right. So I hope that clears up some of the ideas out there, some of the misinformation out there about what an intervention is for, a fat loss intervention is for. Sure, it is to lose fat, but over the long term, for life, you know, it hurts my heart to see people who suffer. They suffer. They go through these programs and they suffer in order to lose fat. And, you know, they struggle through it and they do it. And then what about the heartbreak of it coming right back on? You guys, I'm trying to free you from that cycle. I really am. And, you know, I want to share that with y'all. Please believe me, I don't think I know everything in the world. But I do know this. Muscle burns calories. Fat does not. If you want to stay lean for the rest of your life, build some muscle. I love y'all. I'm here for you. It gives me so much joy to see the wins in this group and all the people supporting one another. This is a journey, a lifelong journey that we are on together, and it is for the purpose of health. It is for the purpose of happiness. We want to be happy in our own skin. We want to be around for our family and our loved ones as long as we can. And we want to be able to do for them. And in order to do that, first we have to care for us. So go out there and build some muscle, you guys. If you need some help, holler at us, because that's what we're all about. I love y'all. Good night. I hope this was helpful.